You talk a lot about a donor-centric process. Tell us what you mean by donor-centric.
This process, and it kind of piggybacks on what I just said, every donor is different. And you may feel like you're going into this relationship and you have an agenda. We have to be mindful of this. We've got to raise X amount of dollars for this particular project. Well, if we just plow through and, tell them about the project and then ultimately ask them to give, and we haven't taken the time to listen to them and find out what's important to them, then you may get a no when you could have gotten a yes if you asked for the right thing. And so that's where the donor centered piece comes in. It's about focusing on what's important to them. So I learned this from, I don't know if you know Leonard Sweet. Does that name ring a bell at all? I saw him speak, and this has stuck with me for decades. And he mentioned something called the platinum rule, right? So we all know the golden rule, right? It's when we do unto others as we would have done unto us. But the platinum rule is when we do unto others as if they would have us do unto them, right? It's a shift. It's a real shift. And when we make that shift and keep the focus off of us and keep the focus on the person in front of us, the donor, the prospect, and we're listening to what's important to them, then we begin to, see things happen in a significant way. I'll give you a very, very quick example of a very significant thing that happened at my alma mater. So I went to what is now Rowan University, it used to be Glassboro State College in southern New Jersey. And back in 1992, uh, Henry Rowan, who owned a manufacturing company in South Jersey, had been giving about $1,500 a year. Very transactional. Even though he was being visited, it was a very transactional thing. The then VP of advancement uh, was going to visit this person and talk with them about a gift. And here's the lesson learned. He said, I'm going to go in because I know that this person has capacity. And I'm going to go in, I'm going to ask for $10 million to support our business school. And he went in, made that ask, and Henry Rowan looked at him and said, I am not interested in your business school. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is Henry turned around and said, what, because I'm interested in seeing, we need more engineers. And I'm interested in seeing an engineering program. And he said to Phil, what would you do with $100 million? And that was the beginning of the transformational gift that now Rowan University has. And obviously, it's Rowan University because of that gift, but it opened the floodgates for more giving. So that $100 million, while it was at the time in 1992, was the largest gift given to a public college or university ever. It's now since been surpassed, but it was a big deal. But when you take the time to listen, if he had, done that at the beginning, he would have made the right ask. Thankfully, Henry said, I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to do this. So he didn't make him work as hard for it, but it not only transformed an institution, it transformed an entire region. And
Mm.
so, the important thing here is that we have to focus on the donor and what they want to do. We cannot fit a square peg into a round hole when we're trying to say, we've got this project, we need to raise $10 million, and we know all of these people have money and we're going to ask them. Well, if that ask is not in alignment with who they are, then you are not going to get that gift. And you only know that by building that strong relationship through asking the right questions and listening very actively.
At Horizons, we're working primarily with churches and faith-based nonprofits, and we like to describe our motivation as seeking something for our givers, not from them. If people struggle with that, I typically recommend Henry Nouwen's book, a spirituality of fundraising, to create a common language on which we can build a common understanding around this idea. I think donors can sniff out when our motivation is to get something from them rather than helping them find a way to join God in what God is already doing in the world and stirring in their hearts.
I often say it's not about asking, it's about presenting people with the opportunity to make an impact on the lives of the people that are being served. And people will they want to join in. They're just waiting for the right opportunity that meets them where they are spiritually, emotionally, so that they're able and want to make that gift. And you'll get a larger gift, trust me, if you find that connection, without a doubt.